Okay. So today, I think it's all about balance, strength and balance. So you'll see strength, balance, and flow. What's interesting about balance is also if you're feeling slightly uh, scattered and whatnot, including balances in your practice will really foster that sort of tethering grounding, because in order to balance, we need to focus, and just increasing that ability to focus on demand is quite helpful. And this kind of practice, I think, may do that. So having said that, let's come down in either child's pose or the wider version with the knees apart, the big toes together. Okay. If you're just joining, you may want a belt, but it's not necessary. And we're just going to slowly bring the forearms to the mat or place the bolster beneath the tummy and the chest. Prop wherever you feel is a good idea. Maybe closing the eyes now and starting to tune and turn inwards, starting to just reaching in towards the spine, feeling the spine, sensing its support, the support all around it, the natural curves of the spine. Perhaps changing the curves. If you start to go a little bit more deeply with the wide legs, you may offer the chest down, putting the forehead on the back of the hand, something like that, and just moving the pose a little more into the hips and the lower back. And just use this little pocket, this space, to really set intention, move inwards, settle anything that we no longer need, just leave it outside the practice and really deliberately foster that communication inwards. And just notice the breath. If you practice Ujjayi, you can come into that, or simply keep the lips sealed, drawing the breath evenly through the nostrils in and sending it back out, engaging the tummy and towards the spine, just to do that final rinse of the breath, just in and out. Ebb and flow. Okay, let's lift the head from the hands if it's there. Just coming now to the palms, coming to table. So if the knees were wide like mine, we'll need to bring them in. You don't need to open your eyes yet, but if you did, just set the gaze down. Start to feel the mat beneath the palms, beneath the tops of the feet. Maybe start to offer the ankles a little more strongly down, so it's not just the kneecaps you feel pressing. So you want to really distribute the weight down both of the shins, plug the belly up, perhaps open the eyes. Just sit here for a moment, breathing into the side of the body, noticing, even it's so subtle, but you might even feel the length, the crown and the tailbone moving away as we inhale. And let's go into our first balance. So we're balancing in all sorts of parts of our bodies except for handstands, shoulder stands. So we'll take the left arm and the right leg away from the floor. Try to feel them parallel, both to the floor, traveling across the navel in one line. Feel the power in the right arm. As we're breathing into this shape, just check in with the upper chest, especially the front of your right shoulder. You might feel it starting to collapse, and you'll note that if you feel expansion in your upper back. These are just body reading. Just try to keep the shoulder caps even, the hips even, the leg long. And then we'll just bring the left hand back down, wait for the weight distribution to even out into it. Bring the toes, the undertoes of the left foot. So you'll feel the kneecap take more of the pose, and you want to really press into the undertoes and the pad of the foot. Right leg is still long and extended. You can have a slight bend and just lift this left knee from the mat. Feel that hover. Feel that reach. Maybe sort of draw those energy lines, sort of your jaw on the inside of your earlobe. Just keep and breathe it down to the inside of your right heel. Feel that all one line. Breathe here, breathe here, breathe here. Extend, lengthen, press the ground away, all these things. Let the shaking happen. And then gently bring that kneecap back down. Take this right leg and bring it straight out to the side if you can. But if it's a bit much and you start to and the left hip does not like it, just let the right leg come a little back of 90 degrees. Press into the right foot, both sides, pinky side and big toe side. Toes of the left foot stay under. Just lift your tailbone up. You'll feel a little bit of stretch in your navel. Just don't let it be a saggy stretch. Really plug the navel in while you're lifting your hips up, and then send that weight back towards that left heel. Waiting, refining, aligning. So feel how the waist is, how the long arms, maybe the arms want to stretch forward right out of the hips, creating a lovely stretch up the back body. Once you find the shape that's good, that feels the breath can still move into all parts, that's where the real yoga happens. That's where the richness happens. Fill it in. Stay actively aware of every single part. And then if you stretch the arms, you just soften up, okay? Just slowly slide the hands back. Come up back. So hip over the left knee, hands over the shoulders. We're going to bring the right leg in and all the way over, across it back, and straighten that right leg. Okay, and just start to peer over to the inside of that right heel while keeping sort of buoyant and lifted in your right waist and ribs. And just feel this primarily in the side body, maybe the breathing muscles more than the waist on the right side. It's kind of, you can play around with it, maybe micro movements, feeling it in the left hip, the buttock. Just make it yours. Nice even-sided breaths. And then come back. Put it down on the mat and release the feet for a moment. That's it. Now right arm and left leg. Let's visit the foundation through the right knee, shin, and top of the foot. So it's a great opportunity to wake up the ankle by really encouraging space between the muscles, between the bones of the feet. Fine, feel, ooh, how are the hips are. Visit the front of the left shoulder, the collarbones. Where are we called? It's harder than it looks. It's incredibly beneficial. Maybe where your liver is resting. Can you pull that back into the body? Mine was just starting to sag a little bit. Bring that right arm back down. Turn the toes of the right foot under and lift the knee. Keep a nice broad chest. Nice strong leg, nice hinge. And again, visit pubic bone to navel, and navel to diaphragm. That line, keep them tethered, keep them linked. Try to keep them sort of moving towards one another in friendliness. Bring that right knee down. Bring the left leg out to the side and plant it. This is the opportunity to really lift, rotating around that left leg. So the hips have to release that holding and the tension, and then start to develop that reach back towards the right hip, adjusting where you need to. Maybe creeping those hands forward, opening the shoulders towards the ground, offering the forehead towards the ground, getting out of the lower back, reaching down. When you find, the inhale coming and entering, you may want to just use that as just to visit the left leg and the left foot, the foundation through that area of the posture, floating, breathing, and being patient. And then come up, hands back. Left leg's going to cross right over. Keep the toes looking into the mat, stretch into that left leg, into the heel until you feel the left, so the back of the knee respond. And then keeping sort of parallel to the ground, just begin to soften the right waist, lengthen the left side body, and peer down to the inside of that left ankle. And without looking, plug the thumb and the first finger down on the mat. So they're complementing the strength down the pinky side of both hands. And then undo that side bend, bring that knee back, release both feet. Push back evenly towards the heels. When you feel the energy moving back towards the top of the feet, we'll counter that by stretching the hands forward. Just inch them. Maybe the back ribs start to release some holding. Look at the space between your thumbs if it doesn't hurt the neck, right? Just look up a little bit and then shift the shoulders over the wrists and take the toes under. Plug the belly up and find this high plank for a moment, filling it in. Being okay with that stillness. Okay with that strength. Okay, here's another little balance. Left leg just floats. Tug the belly in. Keep the pressure down evenly through the hands and along to that right leg. Put that leg down and go to the other side. Lift the right leg up. Balance and float. Balance and float. And down. Now, roll over to the outside of the right foot and the inside of the left. Try to resist that, swirling open of the left chest. So try to keep the chest parallel to the ground for the moment. Stay here supported. This balancing twist. Then put the pressure in the right hand and peel the left one off. Just keep the feet as they are for the moment. Bring the left hand to the left ribs, just feeling them nice and engaged into the body. And then float that left arm up to complement the stretch down into the core of the earth with that right arm. Try to feel comfortable in your elbow, okay? We tend to have hypermobility there and you'll feel it over opening. Just try to have even a micro bend. Keep yourself safe. And then that top arm comes back down, reaches down to the ground, peel open to the balls of the feet. Just take a little bit of a walk. Lengthen into your plank, plug the belly up to support the spine and go to the other side. Outside of the left foot, inside of the right. So both insides of the legs are reaching down, okay? So that's your length, not the outsides. That will really help bring that stability to this balance. Keep the chest square for the moment and just engage in this angled twist. And then deliberately learn to send the energy to the left hand slowly. So enjoy the journey, enjoy the process, opening it up, bringing it to the right ribs, maybe the waist, just noting how the neck feels, top and side, bottom side of the neck. Lengthen down the inner legs, bring that right arm up. Feel it reach up and out. So that livens up, creates space in the posture and balances that downward pull. And then sweep that hand down, plant it, don't rush. Work through it, staying safe. Reaching through, plugging up and go to downward dog. Step your feet closer or farther apart, whatever feels good. Take a moment to pedal it out a little bit, spreading out the back, upper back, the arms, away from the neck. Hinge. Take the right leg up in a 3-point downward dog and just offer a little bit of a softening in the back of the left leg. Don't freak it out because it's taking a lot. We shifted the weight, wait for it. Let's lift that left heel so high, so high. Dome the back as we shift the weight forward. So open the back to the ceiling, press the ground away, plug the belly in and bring that right knee below the navel or the diaphragm. Stay here, suspend. Top of the crown of the head looks to the floor. Lift the crown of the head, put that left heel and foot back and reach the right leg up into a downward dog, 3-legged. Right down, right leg down, left leg up. Stretch it up, create the space between the hands. This is quite tough. Peel the right heel, stack it above the toes, stretch that left leg. Begin to shift the weight, shoulders over the wrists. When you feel that, plug the belly up, let the crown go down towards the floor, bring the left knee underneath. Feel that. And up and back down. Let's walk up to the hands. Keep a nice generous bend in the knees. And I mean that. Okay, because I'd like you got to reach the floor here. So reach the floor or blocks. Okay, we're going to take the hands and pivot them out. So the thumbs are on the outside and the pinkies are on the inside. The palms are facing the ground and the fingers are facing the toes. Just stretch up the triceps to the back of the arm a little bit. Maybe shift the weight side to side, little tiny circles. This is great for stretching that out. And then peel the hands away, get lower if you have to. Put the whole palm underneath the one foot and then the other foot, bringing your toes right, and I mean right, to the inner wrist creases. And then press down into those palms, into the backs of the hands, into the ground. Feel the warmth. Again, shifting the weight just gently. Okay. Awesome. Undo, take the feet off the hands or the hands from underneath the feet and begin to lift a little bit and take a dangling ragdoll. Take hold of the opposite elbow with the opposite hand. Stretch it out. Let the spine just cascade out of the tilted hips. And then let go of those elbows. Find the sides of your legs, the side seam in your pants, and just slide the hands up. Bringing ourselves to half stand. Hands come out, right out, shoulder blades to the spine. That's it. Now, bring the arms out to shoulder height and palms face the ground, and really feel you've got them tied to your side walls. You're creating a lot of space from the inside of each of the shoulder blades, but strength remains. Bend and find a deep Utkatasana variation with these arms, so wide-legged. Okay. Now, hands are going to interlace behind the head. Shoulder blades are going to come together. Keep the hands where they are. Try not to lift with the chin, okay? Kind of almost encourage more length. If you want to even cradle the back of the head by the occiput and sort of give a little yank up, fine. Press into the ground as we come to stand with the arms outside. Separate the hands, bring them now. So elbow, hand to elbow, what we did dangling, we're doing behind our back now. Offering this little bit of traction, press into those hands, into those arms when we breathe in. So just kind of feel that arms moving in behind the kidneys, more or less, give or take. And then let go and bring them down by the sides. Just gently opening them so the pinky side of the hand meets the side of the body, both sides. And just shifting the weight forward or back between the feet, finding our natural footing. That's it. And reach the arms up for Urdhva Hastasana. Exhaling, sweep them out to the side, come into half stand. Take this inhale in half stand, strong, long, and rooted through the feet. Take a deep squat, let go of the shoulder blades. This is great. Here, total exhale. Inhale, press the ground away and lengthen again to the crown. Bring the weight to the feet. And then shift the weight. Take your left foot back. Take the left knee down. And slowly back away. So the right knee comes back behind. So you look more like this. So the kneecap, the ball of the foot. Gently, this might, if you're a little bit tighter and you might like this, you can always undo your foot if you like. The intensity is going to increase as we slowly bring that right knee back over the right ankle. Just keep the arms out of the mix for the moment. Okay. Now, bringing the arms up, like Urdhva Hastasana arms, the palms face each other, the arms are long. Bring them together and bind them. Index fingers come together, fingers overlap. Lift from that floor with the knee, keep the arms strong and engaged, the mudra strong, and the index fingers reaching up. Okay, press through that right heel. Stack the leg bones, keep the arms as they are. Unless you feel your neck uncomfortable, then just separate the hands and keep them the way they were in the beginning, okay? Okay. Bring the left foot, so the back leg to the mat on that angle. Open the hips as we do. Stop and breathe up the side of the body. Now visit the right leg. And if it feels, you feel more sensitivity on the inside of the knee, it shows that your right hip is sort of reaching forward. Let it soften a bit behind and really encourage that right knee to float behind us. And if you want, just don't be shy to take a little glance down there to really get that sense of when when you kind of self-correct. Keep the hands as they are. Start to lean into a bound Parsvakonasana unless you know you've reset, and long on that right side of the body. Good. Come back up. Keep that right leg as is. Release the mudra there and just float the arms down shoulder height. Let them soften right out the top of the hand, both sides. Good. Open the back arm, the left one up. Sweep it all the way down. Find the mat with it and bring the right one down to put on the outside of your right foot. Dome the left side of the back as you let the crown come down. Pivot on that ball of the back foot. And now just take a couple of bounces. You want to feel buoyant because we're going to float. Here's that other balance. And slowly, like, stay here. Just inquire. Is it interesting to maybe start to straighten that right leg? Maybe lifting the left leg. Maybe, I don't know, finding both hands and that right foot as our foundation. Doesn't matter what shape. Just lift that left leg and then bring it back. Let the weight even out between the feet and the body rest on the thighs and the neck. Just soften down for a moment. Lifting away from the floor, evening ourselves out, drawing our chest up, keeping our neck long, big squat. Right leg goes back, down comes the knee, back away. So if you have knee sensitivity, I'm sure you can release the back foot. That will help. Okay. Just keep the arms down by the side. I'm beginning to shift the weight. Focus on saying hello to your right hip flexor on the right side. Okay. Just use this. When we move our hands, really try it on this side. If you didn't maybe find it on the other side, is just feel this lifting, like not even just drawing that energy out of the earth core and sending it up the side of the body, past the ribs, past the shoulders, past the elbows, past the wrists, fingers dynamically up and bring the hands together, index fingers, and lift up. Yes. Okay. Straighten both. Straighten. Reach down the inner leg. It's where I struggle looking at everybody. Ha 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 ha. Okay, open up. Bend that left leg. Reclaim the long side of the body. Nice. Watch. If you're feeling, because let's every single one of us visit the outside, the right hip. If you feel it's sort of making a U shape forward and you feel pinching in your glutes on your right side, it's usually it's a sign that you need to pull back. Find that nice gentle placement of your femur inside the strong leg. And take it over. Remember, let go of this bind if you're feeling tense in the top of the shoulders or if it's creating some any unpleasant sensations. That's it. Beautiful. Okay. Up. separate the arms and really feel the release travel from the neck out, the fingers and the thumbs. It's another opportunity to get big and broad in the upper back and strong. And then cartwheel the arms. Let that back foot stay as it is. Really reach down the pinky side. Body reading. And then pivot. Soften the knee. Do what you need to do to feel that. Might just come 2 inches off. I don't know. Maybe I'm not going to go. This side is a little tighter. Just enjoy the float. And plant that foot down. Take the tuck. Let go of the neck. Let the head be heavy. We're going to roll up out of this. So inhaling, you'll feel the floor move away, or you'll move away from the floor. Exhale, stay still. Inhaling, do it again. Take as many of these as you feel you'd like. Nice. Find the top of the mat with both feet. No, stay like this. Okay, here we go. We're going to take our hands and reach them up. So we're not going to help ourselves. We're going to be lifting the left leg. Palms together, and then just unzips. Could you bring the palms to Anjali Mudra at the heart somewhere? Soften that right leg, which means bend it a little bit, just so you can really, and then go over into some transition of warrior 3. Again, what I love about this is this, where if it feels safe and you want to be like this and refine there, you want to go all the way, that's fine. We're doing it 2 more times though, so be aware of that. Coming back through. When the leg comes up, plug the belly in to support that, reach the arms back up, find the root through the right leg. Don't rush it. Feel the hips. Go to where you're called. Bring the hands together, back down, soft, and float to some. So float and lengthen. Bringing it back through. When the leg comes up, the arms come up. Nice. And then palms together, drift them back down. It's a signal to start to rotate around the top of that right leg. Reach, breathe, fill it in. Be okay with being wibbly wobbly. Okay. Inhaling up. Hands come up. Okay, right hand to the left thigh, left hand to the sacrum. Let's stay here with just a soft chest, a nice even dome of the rib cage. Don't rush it. Find our footing, especially inside, and we'll take this standing twist, maybe playing around with flight and taking the arms up. It doesn't really matter. You can leave them down. Feel the work of that standing leg. Okay. And back down. Bring that leg down and try not to move around too much. Just sit with it. Go the other side. Peel the right leg off. Bring it up. Bring the hands up. So now we're really linking. I'm just going to go over here. Palms together, drift down. Start to move around the top of that left standing leg. Find some shape, doesn't matter. Have balance. Bringing it through. Stay focused. Up. And hands come up. Nice long right waist though too. Hands together. Back down. Roll around. Keep softness in the mouth though. Bring it back up. Oop. Arms come up. and back. I told you, balancing, there's nowhere else to be. And it can be very frustrating. So if that's that kind of a day, be kind to yourself, because that's the beauty of balances. They take the Photoshop out of things, don't they? Lift up, stay square, which I think is important. Got to stay honest with ourselves and creative and playful. Take the twist to the other side. Maybe float the arms away from the heart. Hands back down. Bring that leg back down. Take a moment. Just bring the left hand to the chest and the right hand to the chest. Soften the chin towards the throat. And we just slowly shift the weight between the feet. Close the eyes for a moment. And then find an even purchase. You know, I've just done kind of circles. Really connect with the space between each and every toe. Lift them, spread them. Okay. Now, let go of the hands. Bring the toe knuckles together, heels very slightly apart. Inhale in a V up, and we offer the chest up as we inhale. Maybe take a little bit of a heart opener, lifting the heart to the sky. Bring the hands together, unzip and focus the back body, lengthen, fold over. Inhaling, lift away from the floor, long spine, and exhale, plant the hands and take that step back into plank. Lifting in plank, exhaling the knees and pressing back. Strong arms, send that weight forward. Look up, shift the weight, bring the forearms down, elbows over, shoulders over the elbows, step back. And really radiate the energy outward. Just sense, I don't know, like a sundial. What's working? What could work more? What could rest? Good. Fire up the thighs, support those heavy leg bones. Stay with me if you can. Okay, we're going to go to Sphinx. So knees are going to come down. Deliberately lower the hips, no flopping down, and then release the feet. Take that rest for the ankles. Press the forearms down and just lift away from the ground a little bit and stay there. Okay, so we're just lifting, pressing down the ground, engaging the arms. Now we're going to keep that pressure down into the ground, but we're going to resist. So pull those forearms in towards the hips, and you'll feel possibly the lower back come in and give a little bit of hello. Press the forearms. Now start to develop that even more, maybe anchoring the pubic bone down a little bit without tightening your glutes. Press the ground away, develop it. And then come all the way down, put the hands, elbows out, palm to palm, back of the head to rest on the hands. Just a lovely pressure at the third eye, and just let go of tension in the legs. Give yourself a little rock side to side. And then we're going to go on to a side arm balance, complementing that long one, the high one. We're doing the forearms. So over to the right, stack the inner legs, and I can't say it enough. Again, the pressure's down those legs. Left hand just can help us get up. Lift, really develop this ability to reach the energy down the forearm and the palm, not the elbow. Good. Lift that arm up, palm faces the front. Maybe lift the left leg from the mat, from the right leg, maybe not. Bring it down. Bring the left hand down to the mat and offer the hip down slowly. Go over to the other side. So find the mat, take it easy. Enjoy the journey. Coming over to the left side, flexing at the ankles, setting it up, reaching down the legs, lifting, stacking the arm, maybe lifting the leg. Bring that down, come around. Put the forehead at the hairline down. So we're stretching a little bit more in the back of the neck. Bring the hands below the shoulder cap somewhere, not the side ribs, okay, under the shoulders. And just feel the elbows tracking behind comfortably. Now, let's press the pinkies down. Probably felt some parts of the arm pull up. Now press the thumbs down. Pinky thumb. Good. Now, actively press the ring fingers down. Ooh, what fired up. Then the index fingers down. And then the middle fingers down. And then keep them all singing together in the choir and lift up. And then again, find the foundation through the hands. Feel the hips. Feel the stretch. Lift up. Slowly working our way into a downward dog. We're going to step through to the hands. Press up into half stand, and the arms come with us alongside the body, palms facing in. Very classic. Long, long neck. Bending at the knees now. Pressing the ground away into the ground and then away, the feet away from each other. Bring the arms up. Come up. So this is where I had mentioned the block. So I'm the belt. If you want to pick it up, it's just, I'll show you what we're going to do, and then you'll see whether it's necessary to have an extension of the arm. Right leg is standing leg. We're just going to bend and take the left foot, the top of the foot, into the left hand. And this is, again, you know, short arms, long legs, short body, I have long body, all these things can have an impact on how we can find the mechanics of things. So that's why it's nice to play around and be comfortable with our uniqueness. So this is more comfortable. This is how we'll enter it. So I'm just going to ask you to slowly, I can't tell you how many people, runners, I'm going to see this. No, bring this left thigh parallel as best you can to the right. So bring that traction in. That's where you can see my arm is quite strongly holding the foot. And then without pinching my glutes, I'm not slamming it in. I'm just going to gently move my awareness down to here and sort of try to lengthen this space from the kneecap to sort of here, maybe my spleen area. Keep that kneecap looking down to the floor as best you can. Yeah. Right, and the belt was just, could be down there if you can't quite grab. Okay, this is where if you have your belt, you're gonna have to drop it to the ground. If you're not, just try to do as I am. Do this, open the left knee out to the side. You can take hold of the ankle if that's what you do. We're coming into tree, so if you don't need to hold your foot, find your tree. Take the arms, reach them up. Open them this time to that cactus shape. So upper arms are perpendicular to the forearms. Which just allows us a little more intimate focus on the upper chest and the upper back, the waist on both sides, the balance that we're asking. And the arms back up. Leg forward. Bring the arms down, wrap them around the shin and bring that knee or the thigh up towards your chest or your ribs as best you can. Told you, lots of balances. And don't worry, we're not going to stay in figure four, but go down. Oh, there's a lot of work. It's not going to be your deepest. Going to end a flow. So hands there, or you can want to give you the opportunity to be creative. Okay, come back up. Try to lift that leg one last time, put it down. Let the right leg and the right side of the body tell the left side of the body it's their turn now, shifting slowly. It'll take longer for some and shorter for others. Okay, feel full-footed on the left side. Take the right one. Up. Again, knee will be forward of the left leg for a moment. That's where the traction of the big, strong chest and strong back and strong arm can help guide this right hip to loosen a little bit. So the thigh muscles, the quadriceps on the right side have to give way. And again, if you're feeling compromised in your chest or you're reaching too much and it's uncomfortable, that's where the belt comes in, right? Okay. Slowly let go. Bring it around. Up. Bring it in. You can help it. If you want, elbows are bent. Nice, very nice. Bring your arms down. Bring the leg up. Take hold. Bring it up, 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 up. So where it is, balance fosters strength right here. And it's good. If you fall off that horse, get back on, because that's part of it. Being okay with it being lifey. Maybe a little messy. Okay, up and down. Okay. Now, we're going to cross the left leg behind the right. Again, you might want to soften the right knee a little bit just to get your stance. You don't want to feel too pinched here. And we'll straighten the legs, reach down the inner legs primarily, so the big toe side. Left leg is behind. So the left arm reaches up, and the right arm guides up, palm up, and takes hold of the wrist. And this is where, as we sort of take, maybe on one of the inhales, reach up, lengthen, especially out of the waist. But as we do, counteract that and complement that by reaching down the inside of both feet. It'll feel good, I'm hoping. You're not going anywhere. You're just finding the strength, tethering. And then maybe at some point, it may not happen. See, that's being okay with it not happening. But maybe from there, on an exhalation, beautiful, huge side stretch can happen. Again, soft, Rishi, soft gaze. Try not to look up anywhere. Come back up, keeping that hold, and then let go. Undo. And travel to the other side. Again, soft, finding that sweet spot. And now it's the right one. Travels up. Feel the foot. So each time we inhale to get length, we exhale to find the ground beneath us. Really reach up, and then take the hand to hold it and just go a little bit. That just gives traction. It's unnecessary. You don't have to use it. And trying to keep the hips sort of as still and stable as possible. That's sort of a key area in this. To create a bigger opening for the waist on the right side, the breathing muscles. Oh, that's gorgeous. Yeah. And again, keep finding the root to find the depth. So We can't just focus on opening. We always have to have a good foundation. So this is wonderful. You'll fall over if you don't keep your foundation. And then up. Bring the feet together, being aware that this is narrowing our foundation quite considerably. Let's just bring the hands softly in to the heart. Lift, double heel lift, a balance on 2 feet this time. A pleasant. Now bend the knees. We'll drop the hips all the way down. Being aware that the lower we go on this, the easier it actually becomes. So just access the shoulder blades and feel them softening so that they slide down as we breathe here. So the chest stays nice and buoyant. And this, so you may have to lift up. Okay, I'm going to ask something where we find the mat with the feet. Go down. It might express like this. So just take your hands here because it'll be too heavy to do this. But it might, maybe this is going to be okay. Maybe calves can meet the hamstrings. Arms can come up. That's it. And then just find the mat. Bring the arms around the shins. Shin softens in. Come up. We're going to find the mat with the forearms, thumbs on the inside and the fingers on the outside, and just try to keep them in line with the side of the mat so they're not splayed out. Again, become familiar with what it feels like to sink the lower back, dropping it down. You probably feel some pinching on your thumbs. So just again, tilt a little bit up so you feel some ease down in the lower back. Plug the belly in. If your belly is ballooning out, you're not plugging in, you're pushing it out. Legs together, shins parallel to the floor. Just notice that the chewing surfaces of the teeth are apart, okay? That the jaw is soft and not engaged. So left leg is going to come halfway to the ground and straighten. Full breath in, full breath out. Bring it back up. And the other side. So just like a more active half Navasana, supported by our forearms, which can sometimes help with our lower back. Up. Now, let's take both legs again and straighten them from where they were in that sort of lower down, tilted over V. And maybe slowly take them 2 inches towards the floor. Keep this belly strong. Bring them all the way down to the mat, quite far away, and just come to the palm, bringing ourselves up. Soften the soles of the feet towards each other and just roll over. Coming up, close the legs up. Take the left leg out to the side, the right leg in. Sit tall. Left hand can be on the floor, just outside the leg, tented. Right, we're up. Feel what we're doing. One of my favorites, reach forward, parallel to the floor, stop. So this is a spot, feels so good right there. So give yourself the opportunity and the gift to stay in spaces that feel good. You don't have to get the, right hand comes to the ankle, the shin, or the foot. And then just ease the right side of the body a little bit closer to the floor. Let go of the leg slowly, inhaling back up. Plant the right hand on an angle and point the left foot. So we have planting of the hand, pointing of the leg, lifting up onto the right shin. Keep going, offering the left hip forward, and then just sweep the left arm up and back behind, or somewhere like that. And all the way back down. And you can grab that leg, bring it in, take the right leg out, prepare for the other side, tenting the right hand and lifting tall through the waist on both sides. Arm comes out. My favorite, lean. So this isn't a scoop of the belly. This is a leaning right over towards the floor with a nice strong heart. Up the inner leg of the right inner leg's going to sing. Keep traveling till you find a bind of some sort, and then we'll just come down. Plant the hand, point the leg, the toes, lift, extend, reach, and arc. Travel back. Bring the right leg in to join the left, soles of the feet together. We'll take hold of the ankles, thumbs on the inside, and just slowly, just start to like draw a little forward or moving backwards with the shoulders, and then take it where the shoulder blades meet the spine. Your hands might have to be up here. Yeah, remember that. It's just try not to do them here with the palms in, because that's what will happen. We want to open the outer thighs towards the ground, lift the chest. Have a micro bend, so just hinging a little bit. Really soak up that feedback if it's the hips, the lower back, or the chest, or the arms. Come out of that depth. Separate the feet. Find the mat with the fingertips looking in. Take a reverse table up. My feet are too close together. Fabulous. Up. Just really have a sense that the elbows are nicely placed. They're not overdoing. They're not inside out. The chest is releasing the tension laterally away from the spine and up towards the sky, down towards the first chakra, down into the core of the earth through the feet. Okay. Let's come down, drift your bottom closer to the heels. That's it. And just come down back to our forearms. Take the feet outside edges of the mat and just drop them over. Right knee over towards the left foot. Allow the right stomach, the right sort of inside of the hip just to soften in, and reach down the right thigh. And again, move through, go the other side. Just keep the gaze neutral. And come back up. And I should have said that to get your block handy by the side. If you don't want to get it, don't worry. Just roll back down. Take the block. If you don't have it, just keep your feet as they are. If you have the block, put it on its low height, on its medium height. Let the arms come down. If you don't have your block, it's going to be more active, so you're going to lift up on that angle. Okay, those of us with the block are just going to let that hip section, buttocks sink into that prop. Let that heart above the head on the block. Take yourself off the block. You're gonna slowly come back down. Don't do anything, just sit here in constructive rest. So feet are still on the mat. You'll have this urge, and this sort of, it feels counterintuitive to stay still. And we didn't do full wheel or any huge back bend, but I just caution you always to take the time after back bends. Don't do twists and don't do Apanasa so fast. So we're going to do Apanasana in stages. So knees come above the hips, calves and hamstrings are touching, feet are soft. Lower back's away from the mat. Now firm up the lower back into the mat. You'll feel the knees came closer. That's kind of cool. Keep that tension in the belly as we press the lower back into the mat. Add the arms, bringing them to the shins below the knees. Just connecting with the upper chest and the upper back. How does that feel? Lifting the head, tucking the chin a little bit into the chest and starting to peel the upper back from the mat as we simultaneously bring the thighs in towards the ribs, in towards the chest. Perhaps a little rock side to side. Hands are still on the shins for the moment. Now activate the ankles. Toes will look to the ceiling. Strong ankles. Just one hand at a time. Reach to the ankle or the foot, outside of the foot. Ankle or outside of the foot. I'd go to the same spot on each side. Don't do one ankle and one foot. Good. And now sort of press into those hands as the hands pull into the feet. Get up a little bit more in this tiny little tuck. Stretch out the back. Stretch out the neck. Really get some nice pressure through the kidneys and the adrenals. And then slowly release. So the back of the head comes down first, then the feet can follow. We're going to lift up and take our hips a little bit over to the right, just a scooch, literally an inch. And we'll take the right leg and cross it over the left softly and kind of loosely. Don't do a vining or anything. And we'll just slowly drop over to the left hip. Start to reach the right arm up, straightening it above the hip, bending it, drawing circles with the elbow, getting into any residual stiffness or holding there in the front of the shoulders to feel good. And also, this kind of twisting is always much safer because you're not loading on the spine. Seated or standing twists, you are loading, gravities, but here less so, right? So it's just an opportunity or an invitation to explore different areas of this rinse. Here, I've chosen to do more of the shoulder work. Undo, come back, find that neutral space for a moment, and then scooch over to the left, crossing the left leg over the right. You probably that just initiated a little bit of hello to the left hip, right? And the knees, and then slowly rock over to the right side. Adjust where you need to. Take the left arm up. Again. Do it feels good. Undoing, uncrossing the legs. Just find our space on the mat. If you like to use eye bags or blankets or socks, this is a moment to perhaps get those things that you'd like to have to close and restore and rejuvenate with. And then we can just take our legs down, Really one at a time. Take this slowly. So it's like moving into it gently, familiarizing ourselves with this transition into Shavasana. So legs, the holding releases and the legs just fall out. The arms go comfortably down to the floor, touching nothing. Feel the fullness in the back of the arms and across the upper back, and the buttocks. Closing the eyes and allowing the tongue now to soften into the pit of the throat. Just become still here for a pause. Just to restore and rejuvenate and to integrate our practice. Become aware of the rise of the breath versus the fall. Just taking each successive inhalation to sort of fill back up. Coloring ourselves into the outer edges until maybe moving the fingers or the toes. Slowly finding the mat with the soles of the feet and gently coming to our side. Taking a pause there, coming up to sitting. Let's take this pause, perhaps to soak in a moment of gratitude. Lifting the corners of the mouth. Recognizing you took the time for yourself, which is not always easy, but is incredibly healthful. We'll just bring the palms together, bring them to the forehead as we honor our practice. In gratitude. Well, thank you for sharing your practice.